Hello. Something I've always wondered is, what makes music scary? Is it the high-pitched drones, or the low rumble of something unknown? Is it the unsettling sounds, or the eerie harmonies that create tension? Or is it the absence of sound? Silence. Sorry if I scared you, I won't do that again, I promise. But seriously, how do composers write scary music that actually makes us feel scared? To answer that, let's have a look at a scene from Jaws with the original music and then some different music. And this is the exact same scene with some less scary music. Other than being completely ridiculous, I think there's an important lesson to be learnt here. Music can turn a scene from something that's kind of scary into something that makes it hard to sleep at night. So let's have a look at some different films and understand how they use things like silence and jump scares, harmony and dissonance, and instrumentation. So starting out with the most obvious way to make music sound scary, having a tense and quiet scene followed by loud noise is one way to make you jump. But you can't just add these in your film willy-nilly. I mean, you can, but they're pretty cheesy unless there's a purposeful build-up to the jump scare. Like that. Let's take a look at a scene from Jaws where Hooper finds Ben Gardner's boat. From when Hooper jumps off the boat into the water, there's nearly a full minute of tension being built by the film and the music before it is released with the jump scare. While there isn't complete silence before the jump scare, the music creates an unsettling soundscape. Then the jump scare completely contrasts that. The sudden spike in volume, the change in texture and rhythm, as well as the scream all contribute to making a successful jump scare. Another example is from Alien where Dallas is killed. Once again, there is more than a minute of build-up before the actual jump scare, which is necessary to build tension. A common addition to build tension is by using a constant rhythm such as a heartbeat. In this case, it's the beeping rhythm that continues right up until he dies. Similar to the Jaws scene, there is a spike in volume and a scream. The use of a high-pitched noise which is similar to a scream also makes us jump. Jump scares have been around for hundreds of years, but they can be pretty cheap if they're not done properly. But the surprise is created in music with a sudden change in volume, a scream or something similar, and a noise that is dissonant, which leads us on to the next way to make music scary. Harmony and dissonance play a big factor as well in creating music that sounds scary. Just have a listen to this chord, and then this chord. You can definitely hear that the second chord sounded a lot scarier than the first chord, but why is that? It's partly got to do with the frequencies of the notes and how well they go together. So in the first chord, they do go well together, but in the second chord, the scary chord, they don't. Dissonance is used a lot in horror and thriller movies to create tension, so let's have a look at some examples. One of the most recognizable themes that uses dissonance is the Jaws theme. It's extremely simple but very effective. The two notes are a half step away from each other, and when played together, they don't agree with each other at all. The tension created by this dissonance is further enhanced by the accelerating rhythm, which reflects a heartbeat accelerating when you get scared or nervous. Another example of dissonance is the main theme from Halloween. This theme is once again quite simple, but goes about dissonance in a different way than the Jaws theme. The notes it uses are dissonant by themselves, and the chord changes throughout the piece move to chords that aren't closely related, which is not what we expect, creating that surprise factor. While dissonance is quite a big factor to create tension and scariness, there's something else that we need to have a look at. One thing you might have noticed with scary music is that it's eerily high or uncomfortably low, and there's a reason for that. Most music and sounds we hear is around the middle register, not too high or not too low. It's rare for musical sounds to be heard at the extreme highs and lows. So using those really high and low registers to create tension is a really great tool, as they're not something we hear every day. And when you combine that with using uncomfortable textures, then you get something that sounds really scary. Instrumentation is obviously a really big factor in creating scary music. High-pitched strings, low rumbles, and distorted electronic sounds are all common sounds we hear in the horror and thriller genre. There was even an instrument created specifically to create unpleasant sounds, the apprehension engine. Composer Mark Corvin commissioned his guitar maker friend Tony Duggan Smith to create a spooky instrument that makes some pretty terrifying sounds. I'll put the link in the description to watch the video if you want. Most of these sounds are made by bowing metal and strings, bending things and hitting things as well, all while being soaked in some very long reverb. All the sounds are quite unnatural and use the higher and lower register more than anything, which enhances the scary nature of the sounds. Stranger Things is known for its 80s inspired soundtrack using synthesizers as the backbone of the music. The options are practically limitless when it comes to synthesizers. You can make a sound as scary as you want. One track in particular that has some very grotesque sounds is Something in the Wall from season 1. Right from the get-go, this track uses the very low register to its advantage, and the synthesizer sounds are manipulated in such a way to sound like a monster or some large creature. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video today. Be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. And next time you watch a scary movie or hear some scary music, listen out for silence, dissonance, or unnatural sounds, as there might be a jump scare right around the corner.